Hey team, Chef Eric Gephardt here. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another episode of Steak of the Month from the Butcher's Club. Today I'm really excited to talk to you about bone-in ribeye. Got that nice bone right there. The marrow's gonna come through to help us with our base sauce. And look at that marbling. Even in the spinalis, I say even, especially in the spinalis, one of my favorite cuts of beef on the entire steer. So really fun. We're gonna cook this in the pan and we're gonna work on a beef butter bath. Here we go. We're utilizing the Kamado Joe today as a heat source, right? We've got a rip-roaring cast iron pan. Season up the outside of this gorgeous ribeye with a little flaky salt and a little fresh cracked pepper. And before we even season the other side, let's get it in the pan. And now we've got access to this side. The seasoned side down first. And now we season this side. And this is a nice thick cut ribeye. But we don't want to move it. We want to let it sit there so that all that caramelization can occur. And as soon as we flip it here in a couple minutes, we're going to knock in some butter, get a little tilt on, and start spooning over to build the complexity of the crust. We're about 2 minutes here. I'm gonna give it 1 more minute before we flip, and then we're gonna start our butter bath. Okay, but what's happening right now, look at the edge. We start out with a little bit of olive oil, but these globular pieces of fat are rendering in. So we've got a mixture here of a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of rendered beef fat. So when we add our butter to this, it's actually going to extend the smoke point of that butter and give us big, bold, beefy, basting bath. I don't know. That's a lot of beef. That's a lot of beef. Let's go ahead and flip it. Here we go. I like to grab with the tongs on that bone. And that's beautiful. That really is. I've got a nice little area here. I've scooched my steak towards the back. Let's go in with some butter. Let's go in with some fresh thyme and rosemary. A couple whole cloves of garlic here. Little tilt. And everybody's getting activated. Yeah, that snap, crackle, pop, there's a little sap in this rosemary, and when it reacts with that hot liquid, it starts popping. All these essential oils are blooming into that liquid, and now we're gonna take our spoon, if I can do this kind of backhanded so you can see it, and we're gonna start ladling. That flavor right there is remarkable. It is full of all the it's pretty much a highlight reel of garlic, rosemary, butter, beef fat, olive oil. And we're just gonna start bathing it over top. And this is going to allow us to get a deeper crust on our ribeye. So all these flavors are incredible by themselves, but when put together, it's just again, I don't want to keep on saying highlight reel, but we are celebrating the best part of all of these things. The floralness of rosemary and thyme are great, but when put together, it's just an incredible flavor profile. So we're there, team. That is us. One more thing I'll mention about this basting process is it allows us to get a crustier exterior and still a nice medium rare center, and it's just a much more gentle way to cook something a little faster. Now let's not forget that roasted garlic's doing its thing as well. All right, I'm going to use a pair of tongs and transfer this to a cutting board to rest. We're going to rest this steak with these butter, beef fat, fried herbs, and just let them continue to impart flavor into the crust of our ribeye. So we're resting now. We've got this beautiful stuff. We're gonna reserve this for a later cook. There's something magical about a slightly brown butter and ribeye beef rendering with all those herbs and garlic in there. You don't get rid of that. You save that for another cook. So we're gonna reserve this beautiful fat, and then we're gonna heat up some Butcher's Market marinated mushrooms in here to go with our steak. Mushrooms and beef are just a classic combination. The earthiness and umami paired with the savoriness and beefiness of the beef, you know, I mean, it's just a hearty combination that tugs at my heartstrings in a good way. This doesn't take long at all. We've let our steak rest. We're ready to slice, and by the time we've got it on the plate, mushrooms will be ready to go on, and bon appetit, now we can eat. Remember, that spinalis is really nice. So the way I like to attack this ribeye is to release that spinalis. And we're just gonna come around the outside. Some people call that the decal or the ribeye cap. Okay, again, that is my favorite piece. And then we're gonna release the bone. Carve right down, tracing that bone. And while we're finishing this up, I'm gonna throw this back on because this is kind of like chef's treat here. So we'll set that to sear. Mushrooms are sounding and looking good. Take this little fatty piece. It's got a nice buckle of meat right there. Jeez. All right, here's our center eye. And that's really wonderful. You're gonna start to see this bloom out here in a little bit. And I'm gonna set it aside while we cut this spinalis, but I want you to see what it looks like right now, and then let's look at it again here in a minute and you'll see the difference. Cuts like butter. We cooked it with butter. This is a pretty special piece of the ribeye, piece of the steer. And that's right where we want it. Bullseye temperature, right in the center of a medium rare. Nice caramelization on both sides. I know the whole dish isn't ready, but let's give it a bite. Yeah. The herbs are coming through. The butter was slightly brown. It was coming through. Super beefy. I could eat that every day. I know it's steak of the month, but it might be steak of the day. I don't know. Well, I'd have to take a couple trips back to the Butcher's Market and pick that up. All right, let's get these mushrooms plated. All right, let's slice the rest. Oh, wait, let's check it out. Look how much it's bloomed already. And to be honest with you, it's about halfway to 3/4 there. It would continue to rouge up, but we're not just gonna sit here to make a point. We need to slice this, get it on there, because we gotta eat. Here we go. I like to take this. We could organize this in a shingled manner, but I'm gonna toss it with all those exterior bits of seasoning that hit the cutting board and are stuck there. We're gonna get that now on the surface area of each slice. And we're just gonna go like such. I always like to wipe the rim of the plate. Just tidies up on that presentation. And that's gorgeous. You could put a little chopped parsley on there if you wanted a little green pop, but let's be honest, that's the star of the show right there. Let's give it a go. Dang, that's bold, that's rich. Chase it with a mushroom. Dude, so good. This is a stunning ribeye brought to us by the Butcher's Market. Steak of the Month Club is just proving to be more and more fun each month. So thanks for being a part of it, and thanks for sharing some time with me here today talking about ribeye. Good stuff. See you next month, guys. Cheers.